Hello again, everybody. I've got another job to do today on the van. I'll show you what the slight issue is if you want from a safety aspect. It's not really a major thing, but I'll show you what I mean. But this is to relocate the rear door handle to a higher position on the back door than it currently is. And I'll show you the reasons for that now. I'll just flip the camera on and show you. Right, so there is the current position on the door as it is, and there's my panel on the back. So the problem we've got is, as you can see there now, there's the bed in place and the bed board in place. So when you look at this door handle position in relation to that, if we needed to open the back door, say in an emergency to get out, it's going to be quite difficult to reach down that gap to get this handle here. So I've got a kit from a company, a local company, and it relocates the handle right up the top there. So you basically have your handle opening the door from the inside right up the top. So we're gonna have a little go at doing that today and see how we get on. I think it's going to mean some alterations to this panel and possibly cutting it down, and I don't know, we'll have to have a little look to see how it goes, but I'm gonna have a try at relocating that, because that way then obviously you're never going to use the handle from the inside in its current position, because as you can see there's the, you know, all the electric box etc in the back, and you're not going to access it from there, and it's more difficult. There's not much of a gap there by that backboard, so to reach down and pull it in the case, God forbid, in a case of an emergency, it's not going to be the easiest to do. So hence the reason for trying to relocate it. So we'll get this panel off and have a little look at what's going on and how we're going to go about doing this. Right, so this is the kit that I've bought from a local conversion company. As you can see, there's your new handle. This is to connect the existing cable for the handle in the van to the new extended cable here. These are spacers for you to be able to mount this handle correctly in the position, and they've actually given a cutout piece as well here to show you where it's going to go. This framework here then is to join the two bits of cabling together, and so we've got to work things out. Unfortunately, it didn't come with instructions. It's a new product they've done, and they haven't formulated that yet. But we picked it up in the process where we picked up all the blinds for the inside as well, so I'm just going to try and have to figure this out. Unfortunately, I've got a rough idea of how it goes, but we'll give it a go now and see how we get on. Okay, so we've had a little bit of a play around with things here and a little look at what's going on. So we've got the handle here. This is how the cable goes in here, which was a little bit tricky to get through because I've had to feed it through here. Obviously it needed to come out of this housing for that. A little bit tricky to get it back through that. We managed it okay. This is the panel they provide you with to mount at the top of the door. So my theory is, at the moment now, I'm going to take this panel in place, and I'm going to put my original panel on and just pop one or two screws through into this one to get me the positioning of this, so I can look at adjusting my panel. These spacers here then are to space the depth on this and give it something more solid to screw through behind this panel, so it's a solid fixing. This little block then is the way that you connect the two cables up. This squiggly thing here is the cable that's in the handle on the van now, and your new cable will come through here then, and you've got this little brass piece here then to lock the cable in place in that hole. So I'm just going to have a little play at fixing this up now so I can get that position right and have a little look at how that's going to work and see how we go going forward. Okay, so as you can see, I've popped a couple of screws through the top there to hold that new panel in place behind, so I can get an idea of its positioning on my panel, so I can look at making adjustments to the panel then and decide if I need to make actually a new panel or not. So we'll take this off now and see exactly where we are. Okay, so I've got the position in here now, and I've come down about 20 millimeters below where that other panel fits in place. I'll show you my reasoning for that on the door now. So as you can see up the top there, the other panel sits in that recess, so I want the joint on this bar really, not in the recess, because it's going to go across here. So I want a nice clean join across the bar if possible. and I thought that was the best option. So we've peeled the fabric back here now, so I can save the fabric on this. So when I cut across here, I can just rewrap the fabric over the top, and this bottom panel should stay okay. I need to obviously make up something to fill that hole. So I've got to cut this across and cut the hole out then for the actual new handle to go in. So I'll get on with that now. Well, I've cut this out now and reupholstered this, what is now going to be the top panel, which is going to be permanently fixed in place to make things easier really if I've got to remove the bottom panel for any reason. I won't have to take all this workings out. So I've also mounted the new handle in now, so I'm going to test fit this up on the door and see how we're looking and see if I need to make any adjustments. Okay, so that's the test fit of the now two panels back in place. The one at the top is slightly more cushioned because I've put a little bit of a liner over it for where there was a little bit of damage to the foam when I took the old material off before putting the new one on, but in general I think that's not bad. I'm quite happy with that finish for the moment. So I'm going to get on now and work out the fitting of the cable to replace that handle, and once we get all that working, it'll just be work out how I'm going to fill that hole there and we're good to go. Okay, so the next phase now is to connect up the two cables together. So I've taken the handle out and get the handle, that's straightforward. There's 4 screws there, and it's in this area here where the existing sort of funny shaped hook there locks into, and that's how you disconnect the cable there. So on the new one, as you can see, the rubber slides into that groove and you lock it into place with that nut and bolt there, and then you mount this aluminium plate in exactly the same place as the old handle would go. So I've got the new, that's the existing handle there, and the new cable comes in here. The position of that obviously is locked in place with this sort of brass ferrule there with a grub screw in. The cable runs out through that within, so you didn't really have to trim it off either if you don't want to. And then we've got an adjustment mechanism there, just the same as there is on the top of the handle. So I'm going to put this together now and see how we get on, and see if I need to adjust the tension at all. I've pulled the cable as tight as possible here to start with to sort of limit the adjustment I need to do, but we'll see. I'll get it bolted together now so it actually sort of holds together. I'll show you when it's bolted together, and then we can try it and see how we get on. Right, well, I needed to do a little bit of adjustment here. As you can see, the cable's longer sticking through there now, just to tension it up, get the correct tension on it to get that movement that you need down here in the lock. So I'll simulate the lock sort of closing on the back door now. So that's what happens when you shut the door and the lock closes. I'll video this bottom piece as I pull the lever at the top, and you can hear the lock down here is released and we're back open again. So that seems to be working fine. So that's all in. I popped another couple of screws up there now to secure it. So we just got to sort this bottom panel out now and see what I'm going to do to try and cover this up now, as it's no longer needed as an opening, and we're nearly there. Okay, so we'll do a test now when I'll shut the door. I've put a piece of foam behind the back there, just a sort of self-adhesive foam, because it was rattling slightly when I shut the door. Nothing major, but slightly annoying. Still got to work out what I'm going to do here, but I'll just show you that it's actually working properly now. So we'll shut the door. As you can see, handle is fine, we haven't touched that, so that's closed. We'll go around, get in and open it from the inside now. So this would be the issue. As you can see, there is no way you could reach down there for that handle, so we'll climb onto the bed here to try and reach down that gap. Just if it was an emergency, would be difficult, whereas now we just lift it there, pull that, and the door opens fine, as you can see. So that's all working nicely. So I've gone for a removable flap in the end just to cover this over. Doesn't really matter, but I've got to cover it over. I've just put some Velcro on there, so if I need to make any adjustments to that, I can just peel this flap off. Nice and quick, easy access. So that's where we've got to finish that off now. Well, I'll wrap this video up there. It's, like I say, it's a bit tricky to work out this new kit. I'm sure once they start marketing it properly, they'll have sort of an instruction video or an instruction booklet or whatever to go with it. We just happen to have it a little bit sort of first go, if you like, because we actually were over in the company collecting blinds. They made some custom blinds for our windows in the van and used sort of magnets, etc., to be able to get work around some of the things I've done in the van to make it a bit easier to have these blinds that they literally just pop on. I'll show you all of this now in the sort of next video. I've actually finished the van now. It's all done. We've actually had a one night to test things out as well, so I'll do a van sort of rundown to show you everything inside the van now as it stands. Everything's all completed, and you know, it worked fine for us, so I'll do an update on that in the next video when I got a chance. But I'm glad we've got that installed there now, because that allows us the opportunity to get that door open from the inside now, whereas before we didn't. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you think this was a worthwhile addition. I'll stick a link to the company in the description to show you where we've got it from. Luckily for us, it's a local company, and they are very, very helpful when it comes to sort of doing things. And like I say, they make the blinds and stuff. They do other stuff as well, obviously, and convert vans as well, but they are very helpful with working things out as well. If you want to do something sort of custom that they will sort of sit down with you and sort of work things through. So I'll stick a link to them in the video as well. So hope you enjoyed the video, like I say, and if you do, give us a like and a thumbs up, be much appreciated, and supports the channel. I'll see you on the next one. Bye now.